This video will focus on bringing in data tables to Hoopla via Google Sheets. Using data tables is another way that you can display information that's not strictly metric-based, like our leaderboards or metric steps within Hoopla. So it allows you a little more leeway in how you display data and what sort of data you're going to display. To begin, we're going to navigate to the Google Sheets area. You can get there by clicking on the Integrations tab in the main part of the page, or using the left-hand navigation and going directly to your Google Sheets integration. If you haven't integrated Google Sheets yet, please refer back to that video. You can see here we are, in fact, already integrated, so we're going to go down to the data tables section. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and look at our Google Sheet to make sure we have everything in place that we need. You can see here in our Google Sheet, we've got a name, Hoopla Data Table. We have multiple columns with headers, and we're ready to go. Hoopla will allow you to bring in 4 columns of data. As you can see in this sheet, there are multiple columns, way more than 4. We can choose any 4 that we would like during this integration. That is not the case for a manual data table, and you can refer to the manual data table video to understand the restrictions around uploading a data table directly. But with Google, we do have a lot of flexibility in how we're going to manage our Google Sheet. The first thing we need to do is to make sure that the Google Sheet is shared with the authenticator of the Google integration. If we go back to the Hoopla Google Sheets integration page, we can see that our authenticator is Annette Broussard. So we'll make sure to copy that email address, and we'll go back over to the sheet. In the sheet, we're going to share, add that email address. We'll click send. It's going to send that person a notification that a sheet has been shared with them, but they do not have to do anything in order for this to work properly. So now that we've shared the sheet with Hoopla, we are ready to go. We'll go back to Hoopla, and anything that is shared with the authenticator will be visible. So we'll go back down to that data table section. We're going to click add, and we'll see here that our Hoopla data table is right here. If you don't see your sheet, please refresh the page, as Chrome does cache any information it has as far as what files are available. So we'll click on our data table. We'll select our sheet tab, and we'll give it a name in Hoopla. Now, this can be anything we would like. It does not have to be related to the name of the data table. So we'll put 10 deals this quarter. We'll select the columns that we want to bring in, so the name of the company or the name of the rep. So we'll go with name, company, how much the deal is worth, and the close date. Now, one thing to note is that when we bring this data in, it's going to show up exactly as it's displayed in the sheet. So it's very important to have the sheet ready to go and sorted in the way you want it to show up on Hoopla. Hoopla will not sort the data for you, so this is something you need to do ahead of time. We'll choose our sync time, and this is the time interval that Hoopla will check that sheet to make sure that there is no new data. We'll also decide on what names we would like. So in this case, we'll use name, maybe I'll call this account. We'll add rep to this, amount, and close date. I think that looks good, so we'll say OK, and we'll go up to the top right corner and we'll save those changes. Now we can go over to the channels area, choose a channel to put this in, and we're going to drag over a data table step. We'll select our data table, top 10 deals this quarter. How many rows we want to display. You can display up to 250 rows, but we'll go with the top 10. If we'd like to change the background, you can change that background using the select button. How long you want each sheet to show. Now, this will depend on how many rows you decided to show. For example, if you showed 20 rows, the duration of 10 would show each 10 rows for 5 seconds. We'll leave that fade transition in. And then you can see down here that we do have our columns listed and we have a width. I'll go ahead and make this a little bit bigger for us so that you can see this. Each width has a 25%. We can adjust this because we know what we're looking at here, and we can also set the alignment. Additionally, we can display our row number. So I know that we are bringing in the rep name, the account name, the amount, and the close date. The amount and the close date do not need as much room as the rep name or the account name. So what I'll do is I'll decrease those percentages and add to the ones up here. Since this is a top 10, we'll leave the row display in place, and we'll go ahead and preview the step to see what it looks like. You can see here that we have our rep name, account name, amount, and close date. Now I may want to adjust this close date column to be more of a right justify, but other than that I think it looks pretty great. We'll go back to Hoopla, adjust that alignment, and we're done. So we'll go ahead and save our changes. That is the Hoopla data table through the Google Sheets integration.